In 2012, a woman lost her life on the slopes of Everest. She had a dream. She had the will. But there was one thing she didn't have: the luxury of making a mistake. This is the story of Shriya Shah-Klorfine, a woman who reached the summit of Everest but never made it back down. And yes, this is one of those stories where the top isn't the finish line, it's where the end begins. Shriya was born in Kathmandu, the beating heart of Nepal, a city where the icy giants of Everest loom over the horizon like gods carved in snow. She was just 9 years old when her father, a helicopter pilot, took her on a flight around the world's highest peak. That day, something sparked inside her. It wasn't just awe. It was love, not a fleeting obsession, but a quiet, deep-rooted devotion. Life, however, had other plans. She moved to the noisy, dust-filled chaos of Mumbai. She grew up surrounded by traffic horns, crowded streets, and a different kind of mountain, the climb of urban survival. Later came a job on cruise ships, travels across the world, and a whirlwind romance with a jazz pianist named Bruce Chlorfine. Together they moved to Canada. In Toronto, Shriya reinvented herself. She worked in fashion retail, climbed the corporate ladder, launched her own business, SOS Splash of Style Inc. She even dipped a toe into politics, running for a seat in Ontario's provincial parliament in 2011. But glamour couldn't drown out the call. Politics couldn't distract from it. Even the comfort of home wasn't enough. Everest was still there, whispering. The mountain never let go. And Shriya finally answered. In the spring of 2012, she returned to Nepal to chase the dream that had lived inside her for decades. But dreams, like mountains, demand more than passion. They demand planning. And that's where the first red flags appeared. To make her dream a reality, Shriya chose a company called Utmost Adventure Trekking. The reason? Simple. The price. They offered a far cheaper deal than the big-name expedition operators. But behind the savings lay a dangerous truth: a lack of experience. Not just on their side, but on hers too. This would be Shriya's very first major climb, and the same went for her guides. Yes, you heard that right. They were heading into the death zone of Mount Everest, without a single person on the team who had ever been there before. The preparation phase didn't go well. During a month-long acclimatization, Shriya struggled badly. Her pace was slow. Her body wasn't adjusting. The signs were loud and clear. She wasn't ready. Even the lead Sherpa, the most experienced on the team, refused to take her beyond base camp. This wasn't some petty protest. It was a warning bell, a desperate one. But Shriya heard only one thing: I can do this. I have to do this. She repeated it like a mantra. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. Eventually, people around her either started to believe it or just got tired of arguing. On May 18th at 7:30 p.m., she set off toward the summit, accompanied by 2 less experienced Sherpas. Turning back was no longer part of the plan, though maybe, just maybe, that's exactly what she should have done. At the start of her final ascent, Shriya ran into a familiar face: Ganesh Thakuri, the owner of Utmost Adventure Trekking. He was already on his way down from the summit when he spotted her coming up, and he immediately saw it. She was running out of oxygen. He pleaded with her to turn back, warned her of the risks, begged her to wait, to live to climb another day. But Shriya was resolute. She wanted to finish what she started. In a moment of impossible choice, Thakuri gave her his last oxygen bottle. He knew what that could mean, for her, or even for himself. But he stepped aside. By morning, Shriya could barely stay on her feet. She was now above 8,000 meters, inside the death zone. Up here, brain cells die. You don't stop. You don't think. You move, or you freeze. Her Sherpas begged her to turn back. She refused. She had come for the summit, and she wasn't leaving without it. And then, after 22 straight hours of climbing, at 2:20 p.m. on May 19th, 2012, Shriya Shah-Klorfine stood on top of the world. She became the fourth Canadian woman and the first South Asian woman from Canada to summit Everest. But seasoned climbers will tell you the real climb begins when you start going down. And that's when everything started to fall apart. Her body was completely spent. Her oxygen had run out. She'd used more than expected, faster, earlier, and at a higher rate. She had lingered in the death zone far too long. Her body began to shut down. The Sherpas tried everything. They held her up. They urged her to move, but she could no longer stand. "Help me," she whispered. Those were her final words. Around 10 p.m., 27 hours after she began her ascent, Shriya died. She passed away at an altitude of 8,400 meters near a section known as the Balconies on Everest's southern face. She was 33 years old. Shriya's body remained on the slopes of Everest for 10 days. No one could bring her down right away. The death zone is a place where even help is a luxury, and rescue is nearly impossible. Eventually, a Sherpa team managed to recover her body. She was cremated in Kathmandu, the city where she was born, the same city where, as a little girl, she once flew around Everest with her father. The circle had closed. Her death sparked a wave of questions and debates. Should untrained climbers be allowed on Everest? Who bears the responsibility? The climber or the guiding company? Where is the line between ambition and recklessness? But the discussions faded, and the business of Everest moved on. The mountain kept calling, and to the brave, the foolish, the dreamers, because mountains don't bargain, they just wait. At first, dreams seem impossible, then improbable, and finally, inevitable. Shriya wanted to prove that dreams are within reach, and she did. But the cost was devastating. Would you risk your life for a dream? Is the summit worth it, no matter the price? Let us know what you think in the comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more real stories from the edge of the world.